Hey everybody, Andy from Prothema here. I'm going to show you today how to work with your images on your Joomla powered website, in particular working with the Morph News module, but I'm going to be showing you some tricks in general working with Joomla websites. Now, first I want to show you the front-end demo again, and with a focus on the images. You'll notice that there's different size images, thumbnails. For example, over here we have Captain America, and over here we have him again, but the image size is different. And what's important here is that that's generated from exactly the same image. You only ever have to add one image to your article. So all of these thumbnails, you'll see different sizes and variations of the thumbnails are all created in the same way. And I want to show you how easy it is to set up the different thumbnails for your site with the Morph News module. But more importantly, what I want to show you as well, if for example I go to one of these pages, you'll notice that not only is the thumbnail perfectly sized in the module, but that on the actual article page as well, we have a perfectly sized image. So if we scroll down over here, you'll see this image fits in nicely. And this is what I'm going to show you in terms of Joomla. That particular page is using a Joomla plugin to resize the image. Morph News does its own resizing of the thumbnails, but in terms of the actual article pages, this is a plugin we're using called the Smart Resizer plugin. So for example, if I go to the Finding Nemo page and open that, you'll notice that we've got an image over here in the content area. And then if I open up the HTML, you'll see all we've got over here is an image at the top. And that image has a class called Smart Resize. Now what that class does is it automatically triggers this this one over here, the Smart Resizer plugin. The Smart Resizer plugin does very similar work to what the Morph News module does to your image. But it outputs it on your actual Joomla article pages the way you want. So this is the plugin over here. We've modified it slightly on github.com/prothema, as you can see here. This is where we've put our copy, which is modified slightly to work with Morph, and you can just download it over there and install it. Then what you do is every article that you create, you just add a large scale version, one version of the image at the top of the page, the top of your content, sorry, like that. And then over here you can have all your other content, etc. What the Morph News module will do is it'll take the image and resize it based on the settings that you have in your module settings. So for example, if we open the movie thumbs grid and we go to the configure elements because you want to configure the image, and over here you can disable the image options altogether. Otherwise, if you're going to be using an image, the first thing to do is select whether you want to have the original image that you post. In this article we looked at before, it would mean that huge image would be posted. Otherwise, do you want an auto-generated thumbnail? And this is the way that all the different sizes you see on the front end of the demo are created. Obviously, the original article image would be perfect if, say, for example, you've got a 120 by 120 headshot of maybe a client, you're doing some testimonials, for example. You'd want that exact image maybe to show on the module as well. So these are the image settings over here. Once you've added the image in the article and you're linking to the article from the module, there's nothing much else that you need to do. You set the thumb width and the thumb height, the quality of the thumb, and what's really nice is you can crop from any of the different positions. And this means that some images focus in the center, some focus at the top. Screenshots of websites, for example, you'd always crop from the top. Otherwise, you'd be only getting the middle of the screenshot, for example. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. And then you can choose whether to link to an article page or to a pop-up. Then you can add the border width. You can add whether to show the hover overlay. That's what you see when I hover over the images like this. If it's linked to the article, it'll show a link. And if it is set to Lightbox, for example, it'll show the zoom icon. So here you can set whether to use the overlay or not. And you can also set the background color of the overlay as well as the opacity and whether you want a light or dark icon. Obviously, if you change that to dark, then you'd use the white icon. And then over here you can add a custom class for the image, for example, my thumb, and that would output on the thumbnail and allow you to add additional styling, for example, if you wanted to. But the options we've added here should give you pretty much everything you need to get the thumbnail set up and looking nicely. You can set the width of the border, which is pretty handy because smaller thumbnails often need a thinner border, for example, than larger thumbnails. So the other thing as well I wanted to show you lastly was the alignment. The alignment and the thumb spacing and padding, as you'll see in the tooltip, are kind of related to each other in that the spacing applied depends on the alignment. So what that means is if alignment is set to none, then the spacing is applied to the bottom of the image only. If the alignment is set to the right, this spacing is added to the left and the bottom of the image, and the other way around for the left alignment. So if the image is on the left, the spacing that you add is applied to the right of the image and to the bottom of the image. This is pretty much all you need because, based on the alignments, those are the scenarios that you need to cater for. And that'll give you perfect spacing. If the margin's all the way around, then your image is not going to be flush against the side when it's on the left, for example. So that works pretty nicely. And that's pretty much it. You should have a good idea how the module works. Just remember that once you've configured the image, you need to go to the layout builder and decide in which position you want the image to show by adding the image tag like that. That's pretty much it. As I say, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial and enjoy using the module. Take care. Cheers.